So what's up, guys? Got Dave here, and I wanted to talk about those three-wheelers, 2 in the front, 1 in the back, those Can-Am Spyders. I always thought of those bikes as like a very safe alternative to riding a motorcycle, in the sense that like most of the people that I've seen up at the Rock store that ride those bikes, when they get off, they could like barely walk, and more than likely their legs, like they would have a hard time holding a bike up like at a stoplight or whatever, and so it's a lot easier for them to have that three-wheeler, and so they just come to a stop at a stoplight and it's just sitting there balanced, and then they go again. You know, it's not a big deal. They don't have to like put their foot down or do any of that stuff, which is good. Like, I guess, you know, like if it's an older dude or someone who's got problems with their legs, or someone who's even paralyzed, you know, who's got rigged it up so that they can ride with a thumb shifter. Because my boss is actually in a wheelchair and he has a quad. He's got one of those Yamaha Raptors. It's I think it's a Yamaha. It's like a 750 or something like that. Raptor 750, and it's a quad. And like he goes out to the desert and he rides off-road. And he couldn't do that on a bike, you know, because he can't balance. He can't use his legs. But on a quad, he's good. And so I always thought the same about the three-wheelers, and I never really thought about how dangerous they were, because I never saw anyone riding a three-wheeler the way that I saw this one dude a couple days ago on the way to work. He'd like come up behind a car, maybe like a foot away, you know, just be totally riding their ass, and then whip around them and be halfway in between them and the other car, but he couldn't really fit because he's a three-wheeler instead of a bike. And so he'd like halfway like act like he was gonna split, and the cars were like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then he'd like go into another lane, and you know, he was just like whipping all over the place. It made me realize that you can't split lanes on that bike. And I mean, which is pretty obvious. I guess I already knew that, but it made me realize that, and it made me think, you know what? If you get one of those Can-Am Spyders, you're just going to use it like a commuter bike. You're going to ride to work and back every day. If you're on the freeway and all of a sudden everybody slams on the brakes, you have no choice but to slam on the brakes behind the car that's in front of you. That's all you can do. You can't split lanes like a motorcycle. And so therefore, it's, in my opinion, that's the most dangerous thing to be on. It's so much more dangerous than being on a motorcycle in that respect, because you don't have any of the protection like you do in a car. If somebody rear ends you, you know, you're basically like you're on a motorcycle, but you don't have the advantage of being narrow enough to split lanes and actually save yourself when those slowdowns come. So that was the first time I ever really thought about those bikes as being dangerous. But now I've changed my mind about those bikes. Yeah, like everyone that I saw before, they were just cruising along, and you know, like usually like just an old person, you know, they got their cane bungee corded, or their walker or whatever bungee corded on the back of the bike. They're just cruising along, doing the speed limit, usually even below the speed limit. And oftentimes if I come up on three-wheelers in the canyon, they'll just be like, yeah, go for it, dude, pass me, because they're just cruising. But seeing that guy actually like hauling ass on that three-wheeler and dicing his way through traffic, I was like, holy shit, I do not want to see where this is going. Because if he rides like that to work and back every single day, it's only a matter of time before he gets what's coming to him. I'll tell you what. So that's what I wanted to say about those three-wheelers. That's definitely changed my opinion on those, watching that guy ride. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to y'all later.